Hey guys, it's your girl Jessie here. In today's video, we are going to go back in time to the year 2004, back when Sequoyah Caverns in Valley Head was still open, and you know, nostalgia, fun. We all remember going there when we were kids on field trips, seeing the caves, going through the gift shop, looking at the cabins on the grounds, feeding the ducks at the river. It's a shame it's closed now, but we had this time capsule to keep for all times and future generations to enjoy. So June 12th, 2004, they had a Civil War reenactment of Long Springs. I had to look up what that was. I just assumed because they were having it there that it happened nearby. But the only thing I could find about a battle at Long Springs was in Kentucky, and the Confederate soldiers won that battle. So I'm assuming this is what they were reenacting. But my children were small at the time, and I was new to filming, you know. Whew, boy, there's going to be a lot of this. Woof, woof, woof. And for that, I sincerely apologize. So, I hate that happens. I almost was going to cut that out and like splice it together, but then you would miss part of what the announcer was explaining about the battle. So I'll keeping it in. The beginning of the battle is kind of a lot like that, sort of, and it gets better, but I'm sorry. I can think of so many more ways I would do it now. I'd have multiple cameras on tripods, and they'd be filming different scenes, and I could put it together beautifully. But back then I was so overwhelmed with all the action. It was like, oh, film that there, oh, film that there. And then your child's down here doing something, so the camera gets the ground for a second. Oh my God. So I sincerely apologize if I make you feel like you are on rough seas and you're going to fall out of the boat. I am so sorry. I hope I do not make you seasick. But this is really cool. One of my viewers, I don't know if you're watching this, I hope you are, is one of the reenactment actors, or he told me he used to do these. So you may see yourself on screen if you still watch my channel. If you enjoy this, please leave a like, subscribe, and smash that like button, and let's get on with this video.
Learned over here. Well, thank you. They get away from me. Wait just a minute. You'll be all right.
Stop. Shooting down.
Hang on there. A little bit.
I'm burning up. Mom, 100. I want to overdo the ice.
All right. Thank you very much.
Breeze here.
Goodbye.
There's a breeze here.
I don't think I'm running up to my
Glad to get it. Nice.
We're doing it myself. You ready?
The men, they'll be in first person. Take your children, show them how the soldiers lived in the 1860s. Get a close look up of the field pieces. The long guns, the tentage, the equipment, the cooking gear, everything out there is... I've just been told to warn the crowd if any of you people do wear hearing aids, that you might want to turn them down a little bit. Some of these cannons shoot anywhere from a quarter to a pound of black powder. If you put your car alarm on in the parking lot, you may have to leave temporarily to shut the horn off. But again, this is as realistic as in today's times we can make it.
Come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Battle of Long Springs.
Towel. Let's sit back now.
What you're seeing amid-field are two Confederate mountain howitzers. These mountain howitzers were made to be assembled and disassembled, placed on mule or donkey backs, and transported through the roughest terrain. They can take them up a hillside, they can take them up a mountainside, take them apart, assemble them, and fire them in a matter of minutes.
Where's that? Here it comes.
As we see movement in the Union forces, the officers have called cannoneers to post. Each cannon has a crew of 5 to 6 men. Each man has a position. Each position is an integral part of that cannoneer, so watch as the Federals try to return fire on the mountain howitzers for the Confederates.
Man, I hope my battery got by. Look over yonder. Okay, wait for another one.
From the left, 1 second interval. Shout!
So far, the mountain howitzers have been able to get off 2 rounds without any reprisal from the Union artillery.
Hope my battery got by. Smells like fireworks. Or it stinks like fireworks. It stinks like it, don't it? Like a big old bottle rocket. Oh, look at that. I'm gonna get quite a bit of there's one. Kyle, so sit back.
What we've seen is McCook's men have been caught off guard by the Confederate camp. They don't know the strength of the Confederacy in the tree line, so the problem now is, do we have enough to protect our camp? How many men do the Confederates have? They sent out the cavalry and the dismounted cavalry trying to draw fire, trying to find out what the number of the rebels are in the woods. The artillery commander of the mountain howitzers has given them the command to reposition. This is going to throw off the Union artillery. They're going to have to reposition their pieces. These small cannons were extremely accurate. The howitzer closest to the line has a misfire. The cross implements indicate a misfire. Another misfire. Cross implements. This indicates a hot tube, a loaded tube. The primer has misfired. There's a mandatory waiting time, even though they're being fired on. These gunners cannot move or mess with that cannon until the safety fuse is gone.
Look at that circle. Look.
We can see in midfield the Federal dismounted cavalry is advancing slowly because they don't know what's in that tree line up there. It could be 50 men or 5,000. They don't know, but their job is to agitate and draw fire, find out how many men they've got.
Man, the whole time we're
The small Confederate mountain howitzers are quick and accurate. Again, they're relocating the small mountain howitzer, causing the Federal artillery to readjust, recalculate their distance. The distance of the shells are calculated by the gunner. Then the man at the limber box behind sets the fuse. It's a time delay fuse. He has to calculate the distance of the enemy, holler back the distance, ask for the certain type of loads, and then give the command to load and fire.
Why are you shooting down there?
The dismounted cavalry of the Union obviously noticed that they have a mountain howitzer that's down. This is an open target. The men are still working furiously trying to get the gun to fire. We're staying cautiously away from the muzzle. Cautiously, he puts the worm inside of the barrel, hoping to catch the powder package to dislodge it. He has poured water down the primer hole to kill any residue of a spark. Even in reenactment, this is a very dangerous job.
That's a huge circle one.
Well done.
Why did I never do that? You shoot the top one.
He is completely saturating the powder charge with water to make it null and void. Picking up the implements, raising the small mountain howitzer back, they will replace the charge, take aim, and put it back in service.
My battery's fixing to die.
Now we hear the report of Confederate artillery as they answer back, "We're not asleep."
I did that.
The artillery pieces of the Civil War had the option of shooting different types of projectiles, anywhere from hard, solid balls from the cohort mortars up to time-delayed charges, aerial exploding. And one of the most famous charges used in the Civil War was a shot called a canister charge. A canister charge would be a disc of wood or steel with small lead balls stacked on top like grape shot, and the other one placed on top of it to seal it off. They would drop those down in the barrel, and it would be like a shotgun with a 3-inch muzzle going off. This was at 500 yards or less. If the enemy got closer and survived that, you may hear the cannoneer officer hollering, "Double canisters, double canisters." We can see that the federal dismounted cavalry has done their job. They are now drawing out some of the rebel troops. They still don't know the strength of this force. Remember, there wasn't supposed to be anything there. It was a straight march to Chattanooga.
Now don't look then out. Because I can't be here. We're in the bus.
Folks, what you just heard on the field was a Henry rifle, one of the first lever actions ever used in military use. Some of the rebel soldiers were known to say it's a gun you can load on Sunday and shoot all week. rifles. They had no rifling in them. They were using the Napoleonic tactics of fighting. They would stand up and shoot a wall of lead toward the enemy, hoping that something would hit them. Some of your best marksmen in the Civil War came from Tennessee and Kentucky. They had used the old Pennsylvania squirrel rifles, which were a smaller caliber. And if you could shoot a squirrel out of a tree at 50 yards, a soldier was no problem. Now it appears that the Union dismounted cavalry is finding themselves being flanked by Johnny Reb. If you'll notice, a lot of these groups have a flag bearer with them. This was most important to guide on. If you'll notice, in most cases during the Civil War, the flag bearer was a young man that didn't have a weapon. I don't have to tell you that he was the #1 target. The flag was most important to the soldiers back then. You would hear in the ranks, "Rally round the flag, boys, rally round the flag." So if the enemy ever got sight of a flag bearer, he was the #1 target. Next would be the officer. They say when the Confederates rushed the wall at Gettysburg, they went through 5 flag bearers. Every time one was hit and fell, another man would volunteer to carry that flag all the way to the angle at the wall. If you notice the different looks in the Confederate uniforms, that's because they were not reissued. A lot of these men were wearing clothes that their mothers, their wives, or the community made for them. Not all of them wore gray. The brown color you see is commonly called butternut. They would make the dye from taking walnut hulls and in a big pot. They would boil them down and make the dye to make the butternut uniform. The general just got word, "We can't find the cavalry." He said, "Keep looking. They're here somewhere." They know that the Federals are marching to Chattanooga. They're well supplied. They're well fed. They have beef on foot. The company's putting his men in one long line to volley fire to the Federal troops that have done the same. It's man to man, eyeball to eyeball. commanders of the Federal soldiers said the most startling thing they ever heard in battle was that rebel yell. Coming through the woods over a field, it was a horrifying sound. What you're seeing is exactly what happened. Men were face to face, eyeball to eyeball. You didn't have time to get close. Right now, the federal commanders are wondering, is there enough men out there to take our cannons? Cannons on both sides were primarily scientific guns. Many times in battle, a gun was captured, spun around, and used on their own men. A process called spiking the cannon, where they would take and drive something down the primer hole and break it off. They would take a shell, turn it around backwards, anything to disable that cannon. The Federal cavalry took an awful chance riding through both flanks of Confederate soldiers.
A couple of
like the federal cavalry on the far field has managed to press back the flanking mountain howitzer of the Confederate Army. You see one of the federal flag bearers is just taking a hit, and before the flag touched the ground, another man picked it up.
All I got left.
The officers behind the firing line of the infantry, it's their job to keep the spears of the men not to let fear overcome them. Push them.
Even your arm. What's that?
The flanking house is taking a major hit by the cavalry. That small wooden box they're carrying is called a lumber box. It carries all the powder and the shell charges. One properly placed bullet and everybody goes. I would say the foe was just captured the Confederate mountain houses. Without the rear flank being protected, the Confederate artillery officers will now have to rethink their tactics. He's having to fall back and rethink what we're going to do, how are we going to stop this dead end.
They don't know
So, unfortunately, my battery died. But I think I caught the majority of the battle. I hope I did anyway. And it was really cool to be there. It was very, very hot that day. Even though it's been 21 years, it will be 21 years on the 12th of this month. Kevin says he remembers getting sun blistered there. So, things stay with you. Oh, and what really makes me feel old, I told my oldest son, Kyle, I said, you know, I was the same age you are now when we were there. It's crazy to think about how you get a certain age and time just goes shoosh right on by. I'll be 50 in November, and it's like, how did that happen? You know, I was 16 just yesterday. But, oh well. So I hope you enjoyed this nostalgic video and that we can save it as a time capsule for years to come. Please share with your family, on your social media and your friends. Please let everybody know about the channel, and so this video can be seen more. The more people that watch, the more people that click like. Even if you dislike, leave a comment below. There are all free ways to help get the video out there. and so future generations can enjoy. I have another one coming up next about the Sacred Harp Singers, and I'll explain what they are in the next video. So until next time, love you guys. Bye bye.